99% of the time nice to him. That's how fragile this man is. It doesn't matter what good things they've said. It doesn't matter how much they are in the tank for him and spreading his own propaganda. No, no, no. You say or bring on a guest that says one thing he doesn't like, and holy hell, you're going to hear about it for days. We've partnered with Gundry MD to share this information with you.
Foul and terrible fiends set his sights on the human realm and sent armies of demons led by grim, gruesome reapers to conquer it. Into the fray! Never before has the world seen such horrid bloodshed. To end that long and tragic conflict, man forged 5 magical armlets in hopes of somehow containing the fiend's hellish power. 'Twas those armlets wielded by 5 brave heroes that finally vanquished the fiend and his reaper legions. Much time has passed. Yet now England finds herself embroiled with France in a war that raged for nigh a century. What irony, then, that I must call upon the fiend's immeasurable power to ensure that young Henry has a future beyond these troubled times. In forsus forago itaque capio hoc corpus fidelis dum tui navis dominus archum. Mighty fiend and sovereign Lord, long have you cried for your freedom. At long last, on this very night, you shall have it. My, what a surprise this is. Enough, Bedford. I will not let you pursue this madness. Oh, won't you now? Your hero days are long over. Feeble old man? Perhaps you should lay down your sword for good. Not tonight! No, because you refuse to accept that. Our time is gone. If you were one of the 5, how could you tolerate selling your soul to a monster like that? Yes, you were a dear friend once, so I will not end your life. Tis the fiend itself, Prince Henry!
What is all that noise? What is that?
Henry, my prince, no! Do not touch the boy. The prince must not be kept from his destiny. Be gone from here. Bedford, you must stop at once. I do it all for the good of young Prince Henry. Now he shall finally reign over this world as its true king for all eternity.
Tobacco companies have been buying up vaping companies for many years, but they still can't escape the regulatory scrutiny of these products. So now they've come up with a new plan. Let's come up with a laboratory-created type of nicotine. let's do it in a test tube. It's not a tobacco product, therefore we can lie to the FDA. We don't even have to report to the FDA. If people start turning into bunny rabbits from smoking the damn vape, we don't have to worry about that. There's nothing we have to. If they show up with an extra eyeball, we have no idea what this new type of 6-methylene is going to do. We have no idea. It's not even studied enough to know what the long term is. The kids are smoking it every day, and it's giving them a better buzz than regular nicotine.
Yeah, and I will actually, unfortunately, let me kind of correct you because we kind of do know what it does, and it's horrifying.
Okay.
In rodents, the lethal dose for 6-methylnicotine is smaller than for nicotine. Studies also showed that the new synthetic nicotine was required to increase blood pressure and behavioral responses triggered by nicotine receptor activation. The analog even bound more strongly to nicotine receptors than nicotine itself and was more toxic to airway cells.
Okay, so is this report... This part, what I call the vapors, it's insane. I mean, they'll load up the comments like, oh my God, how dare you say that? This saved me from nicotine. It saved my life. And you can give them all the information. You can say, look, it's got this chemical, and that'll cause neurological damage. It's got this chemical. That will affect your heart and your lungs. It's got this chemical now that we don't even know how bad it is. And they're still going to say,
but we know it's messing with your heart, your brain, and your lungs.
Right.
You kind of need all three of those to really live. But this is so crazy because apparently, though, Scientific American did a great job on this story.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it anywhere else. But they talked about the fact that this actually began, tobacco companies, once they started really being regulated in the 90s, they said, okay, the regulations specifically spell out the chemical formula for nicotine derived from tobacco products. So we've got to create a synthetic. Then we can escape all the regulatory hurdles because we don't have to get it approved. So they've been working on this 30 years, and they finally got it, and they're sticking it in these little things.
They had to. We brought the first tobacco.
Yep.
We initiated the tobacco litigation. People may not know that. It started with my law firm. And when we saw the documents, this was appearing in the documents back then. They were looking for something to say, the FDA is killing us. The bad press is killing us. Can we come up with something to put in there that we haven't studied? We don't know what it's going to do. And now they still haven't studied. They still don't. We know what it does to rats. We know what it does to dogs and guinea pigs, but we don't know what it does to humans long range, but we do know it has something to do with neurological, heart, respiratory. We do know that. But people watching this who are vaping are so committed to this. This thing we're talking about will have zero effect on it. I mean, literally zero effect. Because they got this wall, and the wall is up. God, this saved my life. I stopped smoking. I'm not putting tobacco in my... You'd probably be better off with tobacco than you would this new thing.
Well, what's interesting here about the hatred from the vapors is, you think the response when we do anti-Trump stories from the MAGA freaks is bad. You think the Democratic response when we go after Democrats is bad. Nothing beats the way the vapors are. Like, they make the rest of y'all look like you don't even care about politics. That's how, they will come at us.
You've gotten threats. I mean,
legitimate. You talked about this to kill me. You
kill you?
Yeah.
How about I kill you?
Like, yeah, we're just trying to actually help people and educate and inform them. This is from Scientific American. This is not coming from a partisan news outlet.
Well,
these are
moreover,
people that know what they're talking
moreover,
about.
like I said, we brought the tobacco case in America.
Yeah.
We saw part of this story way back then. We knew what they were looking for way back then, because that was part of the defense. Part of the defense was, part of the attack was we had an alternative. We didn't even have to get this right? Yeah, we had this, but they had already hooked people on tobacco and nicotine. So now they're hooking in on something brand new, and the FDA can't do anything about it. And the person out there vaping says, this is wonderful. I'm not, because they're so freaking brain dead that this is acceptable.
What's beastie?
As creative free agency continue to estimate surrounding the Toronto Blue Jays, the offseason is getting underway. New articles dropped revealing some key Toronto Blue Jays targets that they will be going after, important tales, and discuss what it can mean going forward as the Jays enter one of their most pivotal offseasons in the past decade. Thank you for all that this episode. Before you do it, if you're 100% that aren't subscribed to the channel, me and the world myself, you hit that subscribe button. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there in Canada who celebrates. Hope you're enjoying your day off, enjoying your turkey dinner, and enjoying some playoff baseball. We've had some luxury of watching some great playoff baseball in the past week or two. Unfortunately, the Jays aren't in it. That's why today we're going to be discussing players that they can get in order to actually make that dream a reality. The dream of the Jays making the playoffs, which was supposed to, of course, happen this year. Let's dive right into it. So you see this here. An article drops saying 3 Toronto Blue Jays backup plans for Juan Soto negotiations inevitably fall through. Blue Jays fall short signing Juan Soto this winter. They will need a few backup plans to bolster their 2025 roster. Now, obviously, this article doesn't have much optimism. It says if the plans inevitably fall through, and it's a good point because last offseason, they obviously know they went for Shohei Ohtani. It did not work. And like there's massive call out from office, they basically said, hey, they have no backup plan. They have no alternative. This is why they need to have alternatives because we know they're going to be going very, very hard for Juan Soto. They're going to try to fire him. They're going to be making him an astronomical offer according to reports. But if that falls through, they need to have backup plans. Let's start with the first one, Anthony Santander. So, Anthony Santander has been a guy that if you've been watching, or if you watched the Jays season this year, guys like Dan Shulman, Buck Martinez, every time the Jays play the Orioles, they would say, hey, this is a guy the Jays need to go after. He's been linked to the Jays for a while. He had a phenomenal year last year. You see the article there. Toronto didn't have an outfielder with more than 50 games that had a batting average over 230 or an OPS plus over 100, which is the league average. Offensively, their outfielders are just playing bad, led by the overpaid Jordan Springer. They want to land an outfielder that does damage. The Orioles switch hitter Santander is headed towards unrestricted free agency. And this last season, before the Orioles eliminated the wild card, he had 44 home runs. And again, he's very good. He destroyed the Blue Jays. Santander would be a super interesting player for the Toronto Blue Jays for a few different reasons. You know, see if you can second that. But obviously for Santander, he has been a player who's been on the Orioles for a while and has been terrorized the Blue Jays for a very long time. He is a power hitter. He's a switch hitter. He can fit right into the middle of the Toronto Blue Jays lineup and help protect guys like Vladdy, guys like Bo. And at a point now where the offense is very lackluster, and of course the outfield production from the offensive side is lackluster as well. I mean, you have guys like Dalton Varsho, who's a league average hitter, one of the best defenders, so that's fine. He's hitting 7 or 8 in your lineup. But you also have guys like George Springer, who is below league average hitter. Joey Lapapito, who's a below league average hitter. Got to the point where, at the start of the year, Kevin Kiermaier, who's also a below league average hitter. You need to make a big splash, and they're going to need an outfielder. If they can't land Juan Soto, I think Anthony Santander can be a super interesting player, especially given the fact that he's becoming an unrestricted free agent, but he's familiar with the AL East. The question is, would he want to join the Toronto Blue Jays after coming from a team like the Orioles that are perennial contenders at this point? Even though they've fallen short back-to-back years, have won a series in 2 years, they might be able to actually, obviously have plenty of players, going to be able to continue to play well, but he's a very interesting player. Tons of power, tons of upside, switch hitter, can help protect Vladdy. It could make a ton of sense for the Toronto Blue Jays if they can get this done. And his name has been linked to the Jays for a very long time. And that's interesting to see what they can do with that switch hitter who can hit 40-plus home runs at any given year. It's something the Jays fans have been clamoring about for a while. But let's move on now to Cody Bellinger. Rumors are back with Cody Bellinger. The Jays looking for an outfielder back. There are a few better options than Cody Bellinger. His ability to consistently play first base. Now, he's obviously on a contract with the Cubs right now. But the Jays were heavily in on Cody Bellinger last offseason. They almost signed him. There were some reports and there were some times where many Jays fans thought they actually were going to sign him, and they ultimately did not, unfortunately. But what's interesting about Cody Bellinger is that, again, last year, this past year, he slashed 266, 325, 426 for the Cubs, so 750-ish OPS. But the interesting thing here is that in 2023, again, he had his great year. When the Blue Jays were going for him in last offseason, that was coming off one of his best years in a while. You remember with the Dodgers, there was a time where he was unplayable, and then he had a great year, and then he got, of course, signed. And then went on to have a solid year. So his median is probably somewhere in between. If you sign up for the Toronto Blue Jays, you probably expect a decent player. But I'm not super sold on getting a guy like Cody Bellinger for this Toronto Blue Jays team. Because, again, we went through that whole process last offseason. It didn't work out. The Cubs ultimately got him. He's a pretty good defender. He's playing a bit more first DH lately. It would help protect Vladdy. He's a power left-handed hitting bat. But this past year, it wasn't great. I mean, a 750-ish OPS is solid. It's fine. But I think if you're the Toronto Blue Jays and if you're a lot of fans out there, you want them to go swinging for the fences a little bit more than what they did with Cody Bellinger. And that's the big difference here. At this point, the way the Jays have been playing and the way that their offense has really stifled the past handful of years coming off of that 2021 season, I think Jays fans out there, myself included, I want them to go for bigger fish. Even guys like the first guy we mentioned would be a better option than Cody Bellinger to me. I prefer Anthony Santander, a guy who can put up 40 home runs. He's not going to hit for average, he's not going to be a great defender. But if you can just get power into this lineup, you have very solid defense around the board, especially in the outfield. You have Dalton Kershaw, one of the best outfielders, if not the best outfielder defender, borderline the best defender in baseball. You can put up 4 or 5 WAR by being just pure defensive minded outfielder. You have him to help carry your defense. You have some other guys. Well, I didn't play first at a fairly high level, but at this point, they're probably going to put, because the world, they put him at third base to get another hitter. I don't think they're going to want to get Cody Bellinger to put him at first base or be a designated hitter. I think at this point, they're going to want an outfielder in West Gump who can consistently play in the outfield and provide a ton of power. And a guy who can do that is one option here, which is Oscar Hernandez. We covered him a couple videos ago, and he's been unbelievable this year. He's been unbelievable for the Dodgers in the playoffs. And it's a guy that Jays could have